Today is coffee and Saint Kitts and Nevis, one of the best Caribbean programs of citizenship by investment, in my opinion. Let's talk about it. So Saint Kitts and Nevis is actually the pioneer of the citizenship by investment programs. They started the program in 1984, and it is the very first program of citizenship by investment in the world. A lot of our clients who are considering to which Caribbean country to invest in order to receive a second passport are actually questioning whether the passport of Saint Kitts and Nevis is a solid passport. And my answer is yes. The passport of Saint Kitts and Nevis is a solid passport. Now, why? Passport of Saint Kitts and Nevis will give the access to the European Union. Let's talk about this specific item right now. So in 2024, specifically in June of 2024, when the European Union threatened the Caribbean countries running the citizenship by investment programs with the potential closure of the access to the European Union of the passport holders of these passports. At which time, in June of 2024, Saint Kitts and Nevis came with the initiative. The initiative was to significantly raise the amount of the investment from $150,000 a year to $250,000 a year, thus significantly reducing the number of investors who would be able to purchase the passport. So what is the minimum price of the passport of Saint Kitts and Nevis today? It starts with $250,000 of donations that you can invest into the government of the country. In this video, we will explore other options of receiving this passport, so therefore stay tuned. So what does this passport come with, and what are the advantages of the passport of Saint Kitts and Nevis? No personal income tax, no capital gains tax, no inheritance or wealth tax, no tax on gifts. But there are corporate taxes in Saint Kitts and Nevis, and they would apply for the businesses that you would run in Saint Kitts and Nevis in case your business is profitable. Now to the main question, the mobility that this passport would allow its holders. So if you are a holder of the passport of Saint Kitts and Nevis, you can travel visa-free or visa on arrival to over 150 countries of the world. Among them, United Kingdom, the countries of the Schengen zone, Hong Kong, Singapore, the Bahamas. It is really mentioned that the passport of Saint Kitts and Nevis has an exclusive Canadian benefit, because if you have once traveled to Canada and properly departed the country, and you are a holder of the passport of Saint Kitts and Nevis, now you can travel visa-free, specifically only with the electronic travel authorization. So future travel to Canada, if you have once been to Canada and have the passport of Saint Kitts and Nevis, is absolutely easy. Now let me tell you a secret that only a few know about. Through the membership in the so-called OECS, which is Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the holders of the passport of Saint Kitts and Nevis can reside in other countries of the Caribbean region. What are the countries? Let me go through them. They are Antigua and Barbuda, Grenada, Dominica, St. Lucia, and of course, Saint Kitts and Nevis. So now you know the secret. One passport and 5 islands that you can call home. And now it's time to explore some of the investment options that you can choose from. As I mentioned earlier, the minimum amount that you are requested to invest is $250,000. So you can choose to invest this amount either into the Sustainable Island State contribution, or you can choose to donate the very same $250,000 to the public benefit option. In fact, the government of Saint Kitts and Nevis absolutely loves this type of a donation, and in a way expedites the processing a little bit. A real estate option exists, but it's a very limited option in the amount of $325,000. You can receive a share in an approved by the government real estate project and hold this share for 5 years. Frankly, this is not the option which we recommend to our clients, because you will have a serious problem recovering this money in the future or selling the share to the next investor. And frankly, we don't know whether or not in 5 years' time that you are required or obliged for that matter, to keep that investment, we will have the program at all. There is another option to invest into the private home. For the purposes of the passport, you are only allowed to purchase the title within the project approved by the government for a minimum amount of $400,000. Frankly, none of our clients opted for this opportunity, therefore I cannot recommend it. And now let's talk about the processing time, one of the most frequent questions that we receive from our clients. So how long does it take today to get the passport? In fact, today the passport of Saint Kitts and Nevis is the fastest Caribbean passport that you can apply for. The processing time is shorter than in very many years of my practice. It's about 5 to 7 months. Realistically, only 5 to 7 months. It's quite clear why the processing time is rather short today. Because in 2024, as I mentioned earlier, Saint Kitts and Nevis set the bar of the investment so high, increasing it to $250,000 for an investment, at which time the majority of the applicants chose to invest smaller amount of money and applied to Antigua and Barbuda or to St. Lucia or to Dominica, and Saint Kitts and Nevis did not receive a significant amount of the applications, therefore they are simply not overwhelmed. Saint Kitts and Nevis is processing the applications in a very fast manner, while the amount of the investment is relatively the same. What else is particular about the Citizenship by Investment Unit of Saint Kitts and Nevis is that they have introduced a very serious international vetting layers protecting the program's reputation. Therefore, expect a serious due diligence on the source of your money once you have applied. Therefore, of course, make sure that your application is exhaustive, is self-explanatory, and very well documented. A super important information for those who are considering the passport of Saint Kitts and Nevis is that the government and the CBI unit, which is the Citizenship by Investment Unit, are now considering introducing a minimum residency requirement for the holders of the passport. This residency requirement will not be long, but for sure it will be introduced. Therefore, those who are applying for the passport now will be locked within the rules that exist at the time of the application. My advice is to apply in case you have chosen the passport of Saint Kitts and Nevis. And those who are my subscribers and my followers know my favorite line, that the only constant is change. Therefore, if you have decided on your Caribbean passport, do not delay. Apply for it now. The passport of Saint Kitts and Nevis is a solid passport of the country that has been running the program for decades, since the time it was the first in the world to launch the program. The holders of the passport are able to enter the countries of the European Union and other powerful countries of the world, and of course Canada in case they have been to Canada before, and I highly recommend to seriously think about not delaying your application. My name is Jane Katkova. I have been in the industry for over a decade. I really know what's happening within the global mobility industry, and therefore I am your next passport strategist. We build excellent strategies tailored to your specific situations. Therefore, please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video in case you liked it, and I will see you in my next videos.